Welcome to STL 316, recapping Saturday night main event happening here in San Antonio, Texas. Let's not waste any time. I am the rated R sports star Rudy Campos. You're going to be joined by the Doctor of Style, Sith himself. And you know
What's
what,
good?
man? We're
What's
not going to
good?
waste. We're not going to waste much time as we got to get into it here. Recapping Saturday night main event tonight. San Antonio just got done. I'm sure the fellas and all the fans they're crowded into their cars now. Back in the day when it was at the Freeman Coliseum, the show would end at 9:30. We'd get out of the parking lot at 11:30, maybe midnight. So hopefully the traffic isn't as bad as when I was a kid. But overall, Sith, the Doctor of Style, give me a grade on this Saturday night main event because it's kind of a hype thing, but it was kind of maybe under
It was definitely
undervalued. I mean,
definitely underhyped in my opinion. Uh, Scale to 1 to 10, probably 7, 7.5, dude. Wasn't feeling that main event at all. Some of the segments fell flat in my opinion. So it is what it is. We expected more. Like I told you, Rudy, it's a glorified house show in my opinion. There wasn't big title changes. There wasn't much surprise guest or other than the $1 million Man, right? Those cameos
oh
could only
god,
carry you so much.
those are back when I was a kid. $1 Million Man, Arn Anderson, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Those guys, those cameos were exciting when I was a kid. But yeah, man, I mean, didn't really care. Even Shawn Michaels, I mean, got a major pop from the crowd, obviously from San Antonio, Texas, but you know for a fact he's getting the chiropractor treatment after trying to give that sweet chin music to KO there. We got Chris Gonzalez says, "What's up?" Coming live from the restroom of the Frost Bank. Amen. Like my daughter tells me from time to time when her mom's not around, because then her mom will get mad. But what does she tell me? She says, it's better to shit in the sink than sink in the shit. So I'm going to leave it there on that right there for you in the restroom. Appreciate you joining us wherever you are.
Shout out my boy Chris.
It was I like your grade about 7.5 out of 10. I kind of gave it about the same grade. I don't know if it's because Saturday night main event is just kind of kicking off and they're trying to get a feel of how the shows are going to work. They don't want to, it's an event, put it that way. It's
Yeah.
not your typical house show. It's not your typical Raw or SmackDown, but it's not going to be as hyped or as big as a pay-per-view. Do you think they're still trying to get a feel for how they're going to run this Saturday night main event,
I
type of
think
programming?
I think so because last Saturday night main event, the whole setup was completely different. Now they're introducing the front place, I guess, where they have the backstage segments. They're now calling
Yeah.
it the Mean Gene
The
Luckman
Ochreland, I think is what it was. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean that's pretty good. I think you hit it right on the nose. It's more of a gimmick. It's being led by nostalgia. Take that away and you don't really have anything spectacular in my opinion. Like I said, this is coming off a week before an actual PLE, arguably the biggest PLE in the whole sport, right? The Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I wasn't ex- I was expecting a title change. It didn't happen, but by no means were we gonna lose the world title on a random Saturday.
No, man. You know what was kind of funny was I was sitting there and I was watching the main event, the title between Gunther, who I believe Leha calls him Gender 2.0 against
Gender 2.0.
Uso. And it brought back memories because as a kid, as a true fan of wrestling from back in the day, you'd get that 2.5 count, and you're thinking, God, you know what? Jay's gonna win this. Jay's gonna win. They're gonna give it to him. I can't believe it. But then you have the true wrestling guys that are thinking, there's no way there's no way this can happen, especially a week before the Rumble. So it was exciting. See the fans get excited, get hyped up just to kind of like the Spurs, man. You look good, you hype up the Spurs fans, and all of a sudden you're on a 3-game losing streak. So that's just kind of
Man,
the way it is,
don't,
man.
don't don't get me started on them, Rudy. I'm public enemy number
Hey,
one. I'm not a Spurs fan. Apparently, I got the logo tatted on me. I'm just realistic when it comes to this, and I'm glad
hey,
you
man.
brought up the near three pin the three call. Right, they
Yeah.
did it. They pulled it off fantastically in the main event. But man, that kickoff during the Braun Breaker and Sheamus match was Talk about botch city. I'm telling you that ref counted a three. Ain't no way they caught him with the foot on the rope in time. Sheamus should be the champion right now, but we'll get there when we get there. I guess it just
I was
it,
just
it rubbed me the wrong way, Rudy. If you can tell.
saying. We'll get there. We will get there because that was probably the most highlighted and controversial part of the night. We're gonna get there. Let's share the card right now so we can get into it here. Talking to the Doctor of Style Sith, and he's mentioning Jey is over that he does not need the title. You know, it's kind of what we talked about last on the last show, probably what the beginning of this week
Yeah,
was when we talked about guys like Jey Uso, we talked about Braun Breaker. These guys, Braun's got the IC, Jay's, already kind of main eventing a little bit, but these are the future guys of WWE. So I like what Chris is saying. He doesn't need the title, but not right now. He will get a title, but it will not be right now. They still got a little bit more work to do, a little more seasoning, but they're right there. I love what he's saying right there. I do appreciate that comment. The Doctor of Style Sith, and also the Rated R Sports Star Rudy Campos Jr. recapping Saturday night main event. Harry's in there. Evening, guys. What is up, Harry?
it
Appreciate
was
you joining
good,
us, please.
Harry. Him and I
Be
have been
sure
going
to.
a little bit back to back because due to our wrestling differences, but that's my boy too.
Hey, man, you know what? In the world of sweep the league, sports, and everything, we have great banter back and forth, man. We
Yes,
don't have
sir.
any hard feelings. We don't get pissed off at each other. Hit that subscribe button on Sweep the League TV. All you do is go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, just like STL 316. And we won't botch anything like the ref did against Sheamus. And we'll get into that over here. You said Sheamus was robbed. But before we get to the Sheamus match, kick things off was the women's world title. Your girl Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley. Of course, Rhea defends. She keeps her title. Again, didn't really have any expectations. We didn't expect any titles to really change in this matchup right here. Figured Rhea was going to win this match. Thoughts on the Rhea Nia match?
Man, they really pushed the limits though. Talk about near calls and whatnot.
Yeah.
Nia Jax hitting her finisher cleanly on Rhea Ripley. No interference, just a clean win overall by Rhea Ripley. This match went exactly as expected. No story without a storyline though. It was still a banger. We both said that they were going to steal the show, and I think
Yeah.
this was one hell of an opening act. You had Rhea Ripley whipping out, that special event attire, if you know, you know, showing a little bit more than usual. And you have Nia Jax bringing her A game, dude. She really showed that she's worthy of being not so much a mid card or even like the opening act. She set the tone for the rest of the PLE.
Yeah.
I think they did fantastic. I still think maybe I don't know. I really wanted Nia to win this, even though we both knew it wasn't going to happen, and not so much because I'm a Nia fan, but I feel like she outdid Rhea Ripley at least in this match.
You know, I agree with the take on the match here. I remember saying beforehand, and you and I were kind of an agreement in there where when I said this is probably going to be the match of the evening, and I still think that probably is a fact that it was a great match. All went the way exactly it was supposed to go. Rhea came out champion, but I like what I see from Nia Jax, and you called it, and you've been saying it for a while. You know, she was gone from the WWE. She came back. She's a lot better. I mean, the talent around. I mean, she's just performing great. So you've got to feel that the WWE is going to actually reward her somewhere down the line here, Nia Jax. I don't know what it might be. Could she potentially be the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble? I mean,
I could
I
see that happen.
honestly thinking about it, I don't know what you think, but I kind of got a feeling that might happen here.
Well, with the way they're setting up Tiffany Stratton's title reign, right?
Mhm.
Before her matches, they've been playing those promos. Charlotte Flair's return. She's returning next week in the Royal Rumble, y'all. If y'all didn't know, now you know. The
Yeah.
Queen herself is back. I think they're gonna give the win to Charlotte. She's gonna have to win the Royal Rumble so she could headline WrestleMania against Tiffany Stratton. I think that's the route they're taking. I don't by no means do I think Nia Jax won't have a match in Mania or she won't be rewarded with the title on this end, but I don't see another feud for Rhea happening right now. So I don't know. I think this feud's gonna carry on a little bit. Nia Jax and Rhea, they have great chemistry in the ring together. So I love to see this go on a couple of months. It doesn't exactly have to be at Mania, but I just want to see
Yeah.
this. Just want to see this happen.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see this kind of carry into, Rumble, with Nia doing, great things in the Women's Royal Rumble. Does it mean she gets some kind of match at WrestleMania? The good thing about it is you've got Rumble next week. You've got that time in between Rumble and Mania to where they can work up a really good story and maybe actually add it to Mania somewhere. So I love what's going on with the women's division. They've always been head over heels, putting on some great matches for WWE. Harry's in her great match. Rhea Sith is off his rocker already if he wants Gunther Jax to win the title. Give him some love, man. Chris Gonzalez earlier said code red from Rhea tonight. Yeah, definitely. So
Executed perfectly. Let's give him that. The way she was able to flip Nia Jax so easily, man, I give it to him. That was a great spot.
that was a really great spot. Great job by the women there. Rhea Ripley defeated Nia Jax, women world champion. Rhea
My only
Ripley.
gripe from the match, I can't the way Nia Jax hit her finisher, she squashed Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
She didn't really sell it. Because when she went up for the second one, Rhea was back in her feet within like 4 seconds. It's like, what the hell was that, Rhea? At least act like she broke you. You have someone my size jump on you like that. I expect you to lay there for at least a minute or two. Nah, she was back on her feet. And just for Nia to be taken out with one riptide that wasn't executed smoothly, I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But other than that, the match overall was an A. There was just, I'm just nitpicking at this point, but they really showed out.
Yeah, they did. The women did great tonight. After the women's match, then you had the match that you and I kind of went back and forth. And I told you, Braun Breaker, he's gonna retain. He's got to retain the belt. I don't see it passing. You felt like Sheamus has done enough. The WWE was going to go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to allow you to win the IC right now, and you can head into Royal Rumble as the IC champion. I just felt the fact that if they allowed that to happen, it was because Braun was going to take that next step and get into, a bigger storyline, probably in the world title type range. But nonetheless, Braun Breaker did defeat Sheamus, did retain the Intercontinental Championship, and again proved why this guy is not even, making leaps and bounds. He's making those Hulk, those incredible Hulk jumps and leaps up the rankings in WWE.
No, for sure. I mean, his game's definitely elevated. I believe last episode I mentioned that he's had a lot of time off. He's probably going to come across rusty. Nah, man, he put on one hell of a showing. You know, there was no, how can I say this? There wasn't a doubt in my mind that he was retaining with the way he came out. I was pushing for Sheamus, but Braun Breaker's just dominant. He really went all out. When he caught Sheamus with that spear on the outside of the ring, I knew it was over. He
Oh
damn
yeah,
near broke him in half. So, yeah,
it was
that
bad.
broke kick could only do so much after being broken in half like that.
So Harry brought up a point, and he says no, it was the perfect time for him to win the Grand Slam belts till WrestleMania. Now, let me flip that on you and for Harry out there. The possibilities of Braun and Sheamus at Mania, and then you allow Sheamus to win the Grand Slam on the biggest stage of wrestling. I think that is more, suited for a Sheamus win over Braun Breaker, because then you've got Braun losing at Mania. It's okay. Okay, you're losing, but again, it catapults him into that. Okay, now we're gonna work on those world title shots, and we're gonna get you here and there. Allow Sheamus. I think losing the title on Saturday Night Main Event, it doesn't do anything for
No, it
anybody.
doesn't do much, in my opinion, either.
It's better to lose it at Mania, and it's a big stage. Sheamus gets the roses and the love that he needs and deserves. So that's what I think. I don't know. What do you think on that? Could that be a possibility?
Well, in modern day WWE, now ran by Triple H, mistakes aren't always mistakes.
Yeah,
Why did Jesse Ventura point out that Sheamus did not that Braun Breaker did not kick out of that
yeah, he
pinfall?
did.
Right? To
Yeah,
me, that's setting up a rematch sometime in the future. And what not a place other than WrestleMania, right? That's where you want that to happen. Like you said, the perfect place for it to
Yeah,
make him a Grand Slam champion. And taking an L at Mania isn't bad. Look what happened to Drew McIntyre. He lost his
exactly.
title last year, and he was arguably MVP of 2024 with the help of CM Punk, right?
Yeah,
And at Mania, you got to remember that's where all these storylines tend to end. We won't have the bloodline, Roman Reigns and them moving on to bigger, better things, along with Cody Rhodes. So anytime after that's perfect time to toss in Braun Breaker in the mix. Let the new generation take over. So I was upset mostly because I don't like being wrong, and I I gave my prediction and it backfired. But no, I think they're setting up for a rematch down the road, and I think Mania is the place to have it, Rudy. Well,
yeah. I,
what stage bigger than WrestleMania?
and that's the perfect. I think that's the perfect thing. You just said it. We're get into it right now. Let me get the comments before we get into it. It's Chris Gonzalez. That was a solid match, but I think Braun was holding back a little bit. 5.5 out of 10. Okay, great rating on that. Harry says Braun losing this match would have not hurt him in his career. Reward Sheamus for his bangers after bangers. Totally get that, and that's what we're talking about. Nah, Braun wins this big match. Wins the big match. I let him take that next step you're talking about by winning WrestleMania.
No,
We're gonna flip that. We're gonna flip that. Taz said it best. Does the wrestler make the title or does the title make the wrestler? I do remember Taz saying that. Getting back to the Braun thing. So I get where Harry's coming from. Totally get it. Drop the belt before Rumble at a Saturday night main event. Maybe even drop the belt before Mania. Give Sheamus a love and but I think personally, Sheamus beats Braun at Mania. You're right. Sheamus has all the eyes on him. Braun takes the L at Mania. But there are certain points in wrestling, especially pay-per-views, where you said it, a loss, especially at Mania, is not exactly a loss. It's actually perfect and perfect timing because now you've got that entire Mania to Mania year to make Braun, you know what? IC title is beneath me. It's a world title now. So that's where I'm kind of going with. But if you want to answer back at Harry, this is all you right here on that.
since Braun wins the big match, and let him take the next step. You are talking about winning at Mania. I think you hit it right on the nose. He doesn't need a win at WrestleMania. Like you said, does the wrestler make the title? Does the title make the wrestler? Braun Breaker's been an animal since he's been called up from NXT. He does not need that IC title. He doesn't need a world title at this very moment. I think Sheamus would he probably needs it more because his character's starting to fall off. The age is getting to him. Let's reward him while he's still mobile, while he's still able to defend the championship at least, once or twice right before taking it back off of him. But yeah, I think what do I think? Does Braun Breaker need to hold it? It's because I'm conflicted. I was all for him winning the championship, but now
Yeah.
it's kind of like, man, I'd love Sheamus to have it, but is it time? Is it time for them to drop it? This is why I couldn't be a Booker, Rudy. I'm too conflicted. I get too emotional when it comes to this because I've been around since Sheamus's debut, and I've
Oh, yeah,
seen
I
Braun Breaker
understand.
get called up and just dominate. But I say reward Sheamus, build up Braun, give him the L at Mania.
So,
And that's all I have to say about that, I guess.
well, check this out. I mean, early matches Mania is Sheamus Braun. Early in Mania, Braun loses. Okay, Sheamus wins. IC Grand Slam. Beautiful. By the time it gets to main event time, Cody, whoever, Gunther, doesn't matter. By the time it gets to those title matches, people forgot about Braun.
Yeah.
How do you end the show? Braun coming down the ramp and attacking. We gotta go. We gotta go. As Braun is kicking Cody's ass or even Gunther's ass. I mean, that's the perfect sell right there.
Man, and it's happened before. We've had Edge win Money in the Bank and later that day cash in on John Cena. Granted, that was at Elimination Chamber, but
Mhm.
Things like that do happen, and let's switch things up from WrestleMania. You don't always have to end with the babyface standing tall, like you said. Let a
Nope.
new rival come down and whoop their ass. Hell, Brock Lesnar made a career out of it. Fans feared that whole intro to his music. Once you heard him, oh man, the title switching hands, or our favorite's gonna be out for a couple months. This is them rewarding them with a vacation or some shit, because Brock Lesnar's a scary mofo, man.
Leia's in here. I'm late to the show, but like I say, is Gunther is effing shit wrestler, shit on the mic, and is a damn waste of a title run. Pathetic. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to hype up Braun Breaker for you, Leia. I mean, we're trying to give ideas as to what could possibly happen. Chris says Braun needed to keep the title because Sheamus. Where do you
Where do you
after that
go?
for him?
Where do you go after
Yeah, where
that?
do you go after that for him? I'm honestly, I don't know why. Just my gut tells me you may see Sheamus win at WrestleMania. It's a bigger stage. You don't want to drop the belt at Saturday Night Main Event. I mean, I'm not shitting all over San Antonio or the event itself, but who the hell you want to drop an event? You want to drop a belt at Saturday Night Main Event? I mean, you don't do that. It's
No,
rarely going to happen.
look what happened with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan went ahead and dropped the title. Yeah, Rhea Ripley got a push, but it just knocked Liv Morgan off that pedestal completely. Like, now she's, not to say she's restarting, but she's not as what she once was. I know they're trying to hype her up, have her dressing skimpier and whatnot, trying to get that pop back, but it's just not working out without that title. Dominic Mysterio on that belt made her, and it's kind of sad to say.
Dominic Mysterio, man. I'm just gonna say this out there before we get to the comments that we got, but he reminds me a lot of Joe Kim Noah. He just looks like he smells really bad. And I don't even want to be close to him. This is STL 316, Doctor of Style Sith hosting it here. We're recapping the Saturday Night Main Event alongside with the Rated R Sports Star Rudy Campos Jr. Get your comments in there. Appreciate everybody joining us. And Swizz is in here and says, "Sup, fellas."
What's up,
Leha,
Swiss?
send Gunther to AEW since he loves botching shit. Botch ass bomb. There he
I
goes,
know what he's
man.
talking about. We'll talk about it later when we get to the main event.
We'll get to there. Perfect. Me came late to the show. You're never late, man. You're always on time here. Live his class. Quit hating. I do love me some Liv Morgan. I'm
Man, I
not
love
gonna
me
lie.
some Liv Morgan too. I led the Liv Morgan flat fan club, but I'm just saying for what it is. Rhea Ripley got that pop, and she completely overshadowed her once again. I hate to see it. I love me Rhea Ripley,
uh,
but
when so Switz is in here, stop hating on Gunther.
oh, now he's going at
We're
Leha.
going up here, and then Chris Gonzalez. We disrespect the Lucha King Dominic. All right, man. That's just the way I feel about Lucha King, I guess, man. He's a heel for a reason. And Ralph is in here. What's
Hey,
up,
what's
fellas?
up,
What's
bro?
going on, man? Appreciate everybody joining us on here. Now, closing thoughts on that Braun Breaker and Sheamus matchup. It's if you read between the lines, you said it a little while ago. 100% credit to you on saying it. If you really read between the lines, there's always something that happens that fans tend to miss, and then they bring it back up in storylines later. That one thing is what you said, the body. The ref counted to three and didn't see the foot on the rope till after. Sheamus should have won. That will live already in Triple H's head. They're already writing everything out. And I think that's where it goes to Mania.
Well, they're already pushing that agenda, Rudy. Sheamus released the photo with the body, and it's hashtag robbed. So I think we
There
read
you
it
go.
perfectly. This is what's gonna segue them to WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And then once Braun loses to Sheamus, Sheamus gets the Grand Slam at WrestleMania. We're going to have to recap that and say, we told you guys months ago, man, this is going to happen. You got to listen to us. Harry, crazy stat. They say that Gunther has been a champion for 80% of his career. I did hear that.
Yeah, that's
Like,
facts.
no Swiss, Gunther is ass. Oh my God, Dominic Mysterio's cheap version of Juventud Guerrero. I wouldn't disrespect Juventud Guerrero on that, man. I would say no Leha, Gunther gets his ass. He gets Jay's paw. Oh God, okay, yeah, we're
Here
gonna
we
leave that on
go.
Twitter. I like this comment. Mysterio's cheap version of Juventud Guerrero. I don't know, man. I mean, he's like when he comes out, the way he's dressed, he reminds me like the West Side version of Disco Inferno half the time, man. That's like
So
the
he
vibes that I get from Dominic Mysterio.
so
I don't know.
so Dominic has the Disco Inferno pants that say Sucio in the back though. Shout out my
There
US
you
away
go.
fellas. He has the La Parca top. He has the Eddie Guerrero mustache and mullet. Man, he's just great overall. And y'all mentioned Juventud Guerrero. Guerrera. He has never had a pop like Dominic Mysterio. Granted, it's been for the heels, right? No one's ever been booed that much. Um, but last time I was in San Antonio for Monday Night Raw, he actually went up against Gunther and he won over the crowd, Rudy. Like I said, I've seen it firsthand. He's
Mhm.
probably the best heel in modern day, right? Dominic Mysterio, but he's really showing his ass out there. He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
No, he's showing up. He's showing up a lot. I'll give Dominic a lot of credit. Harry makes a pretty good point here. He's saying Dominic needs to get a push for a title. I will not disagree with that. He does really need to get a push for a title. Juventud Guerrero was good, but he was one of the luchadors that wanted all the spotlight on him. That's why some luchadors don't
Yeah.
respect him. That is true. I love this comment by Chris. Says,
My
my kids
kids
say y'all
say,
take LOL. Hey man,
hey
we're
Chris,
not pros. We're not perfect daddy brother here.
hey Chris, it doesn't matter what your kids say.
Got to pay off Breaker versus Gunther at Mania. Braun will drop it before Chamber and probably win it to challenge Gunther at Mania. So that's kind of what we're saying here. You're probably going to see Braun, Sheamus at Mania. Braun loses, drops the belt to Sheamus. Sheamus gets his Grand Slam, and then Braun comes in later at Mania. Could he attack Gunther? I mean, could you possibly see a turn for Braun? I mean, attacking Gunther and having a Braun Gunther rivalry, that man, that might be pretty damn good. Powerful guys and guys that command the ring. I'm kind of liking that. I'd rather see that more than Cody Rhodes and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I think so, but there's stories to be told and there's plenty of time. I didn't even think about the elimination chamber. Like
Yeah.
they said, let's have Sheamus drop it, win the title then throw Breaker in the mix in that elimination chamber match or something. Have him win Money in the Bank. Go creative with him. Give him some time to shine away from the title and build them up to something bigger.
Oh yeah, 100% on that. We are talking to the Doctor of Style Sith. This is STL 316 rated R Sports Star. Rudy Campos Jr. recapping Saturday night main event. Moving right along. After that, we had the signing. KO Cody Rhodes.
Man.
I think I've seen more fight with a guy trying to take his wiener out to take a piss than I got in any of this whole signing stuff. To be honest, man. Like I said, I think Sean giving Sweet Chin music to KO, like you were saying, it's gonna happen. So John was gonna do something to somebody here, ended up doing it to KO. I'm sure every bone cracked in Shawn Michaels' body giving that Sweet Chin music. I don't know, man. It was a very underwhelming signing. Put it that way.
Man, it's what made it underwhelming for me. So we predicted what was going to happen. Kevin Owens, he's a surgeon on the mic. He
Yeah,
came out there, he cooked both their asses perfectly.
yeah,
And Rudy, say it with me. When Cody Rhodes gets on the mic, corny. The
yeah.
definition of corny. He can't cut an aggressive promo to save his life. And of course, he has to throw his father in the mix, or else he's not getting a pop. There's a reason why Roman called him No Pop Cody. You know, and sooner or later, wrestling fans gonna have to take their blinders off and just face the music. Cody Rhodes isn't meant to lead the company. Yeah, he does his little whoa fireworks hit. He takes over all the pyrotechnics, but that's only going to carry you so much. He botches so much when it comes to mic work. He actually does better post interviews, when he's on Logan Paul's show, Two Bears, One Cave, a couple other guest appearances. He's better on the mic there. But when it's time for him to go up against someone with KO's mic skills, he's just not cutting it. It's not believable. And they're trying to
Yeah.
get me to believe, oh, we're getting ready for Homelander Cody, that arch villain, that anti villain, is he good? Is he bad? Oh, he has an aggressive side. Man, that boy he doesn't have an aggressive bone in his body. Come on. What part of Cody Rhodes screams intimidating? Even his tattoo isn't intimidating. Come on, man.
Oh
I
man.
could draw something better than that. If you give me a pen and paper in 3 minutes, I could whip up a better design. He's just not intimidating. I know they're trying to elevate him, have him go over on Kevin Owens, but I say fuck. Oh, my bad. I say the hell with it. Let's give Kevin Owens the championship. He deserves it more, and he'd make. We need to have a heel champion, so he'd make a better champion, in my opinion. And Shawn Michaels, what's your ass doing in the ring, brother?
Oh, I
You're over
like.
here smack talking Kevin Owens. He damn near pile drove your ass and knocked your eye back straight. Come on, bro. If
Oh
Cody
my
wasn't
god.
there to super kick him, which I guess that spot kind of fell flat for me. How are you gonna have Cody Rhodes super kick him and then follow it up with a sweet chin music? And just because Shawn Michaels initiated that hit, it carried more damage? I don't think so. That was corny as hell for me. Should have kept your jacket on, showing your sweaty ass back in the middle of the ring, bro. You couldn't carry DX. Triple H carried you, and you thought you were gonna carry this segment. Keep your ego in the back, Sean. Go back to NXT. You
Man,
know, come
man,
on,
you're.
go get
God,
you some Burger Boy and sit your ass down, boy.
that's disrespectful to Burger Boy now, man. Come on, man. No,
Nah, shout out Burger Boy. That's
yeah,
why I didn't say
no,
Whataburger because they're horrible.
we love Burger Boy, man. Hey, and man, your mic is probably on fire. You just cooked the entire Cody KO Shawn Michaels appearance as. Yeah, that was a terrible, 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 terrible thing. I think you're right. I don't know. I don't know what to believe on Cody. I get hyped because of the intro song more than anything, and I'm like, that's what I like. But after that, when I see him coming out and why I'm like, okay, I can kind of go download the song like I already have and just listen to it in my car. And I know I'm more hardcore than Cody Rhodes right now, listening to that song, driving around to that song around here in San Antonio. So it's going to be an underwhelming thing. It was a very underwhelming signing. You know what? That's just whatever. It is what it
I
is.
I didn't
Man.
even mention the funniest part of the thing. All right, so they're putting the two titles on the holder, right? And
Yeah.
they're having that aggressive stare down. Cody, no snarling. Here, let me hold this for you because it's shaking a little too much. The ref's having trouble clipping the belts on. Man, that was corny as hell. You should have just let the ref keep on struggling until he got that shit right. That stare down really fell flat for me, man.
Oh
Let's
man,
see.
early. Let's get to some of the comments. We're getting a bunch of them in now. Harry said earlier, I would have loved to seen Penta make an appearance at the end of the Gunther match. Would have been huge. They got big things for Penta. I mean, I
Yeah,
was expecting him to make an appearance here, but I'm kind of glad he didn't because
the show was
the
mid.
show wasn't good at all. KO making the story of Cody is no Dusty. Hate to say that, 100%. He says, "Should I agree with Sith on Cody?" I
Hell
think
yeah.
a lot of people agree with you. That pop Cody got when he cut K off with his excuses and to STFU was pretty nice. Other than that, it was a boring segment. It was boring, that segment. The disrespect to Shawn Michaels. Sith, sit this one out.
Swiss, HBK is the reason DX exists. I agree. I mean, of course, common knowledge, right? He went out, got Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and that all came together. But what has he done since then? Since he retired, he's been good at his role, being whatever he is over at NXT. But there was no need to include him in this. This was just to reward the people of San Antonio. Why do you need Shawn Michaels out there? You want a San Antonio legend? You have Michael Cole calling the matches. That's more than enough. He's not the only San Antonian on the roster. Come on, let's be honest, fellas. He did not need to be in there. That switch in music, they had to change the camera angle just to play it safe in case his leg wouldn't get up there.
Oh my god! Didn't we talk
No,
about that last week? We talked about the sweet chin music.
switch in
How
music.
if I do it, it would be sweet shin music because it would not get above the knee at all. He says he's the reason DX exists. Okay, we'll give him that there. Not Sith going heel against the hometown HBK.
Hey, that's why Rudy has me on here, Ralph. I'm not afraid to say what the other marks say. If I'm the heel, so be it. I'm gonna be the best damn heel on STL 316. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the promo everybody is waiting for. Him going heel, Sith going heel. HBK is the golden boy. I don't know about that.
Oh
Stop
well,
the hate.
tonight he looked like the pony boy. He could hop on the horse and get his ass back where he came from.
Oh my God! Stop the hate, Sid. They are coming after you. Sid versus HBK coming very, very soon.
Let's get it. If y'all want to see it,
Oh,
we'll make it happen.
mm,
STL, we'll get out there eventually. He can't hide from me forever. Nah, shout out
oh
the
man!
Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
Nothing but love
don't
for
turn
such a
now.
legend.
Don't get
Hey,
scared
I'm
now. You're gonna
scared
keep
knowing that he
talking. You
might
keep
come after my ass.
We have the doctor style sit here. We're recapping Saturday night main event. We got a couple more matches here. Next match to get into was the one that got kind of crazy, and I think for me, I don't know if it was really necessary to have it go that overboard, but you had Braun Strowman defeat Jacob Fatu by disqualification. You saw Fatu kind of go a little wacko there at the end, but again, I think it was just
Overkill.
too much.
It was a complete recycle job, you know. We
Yeah,
just saw Bronson Reed do that to Seth Rollins a couple months ago. Same thing, you know, pop the capsule in after his sixth tsunami. He
yeah,
popped them from the inside. He was bleeding out. Except we had those corner hits, which were, oh man, it's not on Jacob, but Braun Strowman wasn't set up properly. He wasn't selling them how they should. Usually, you could see
yeah,
where they make some contact with the hips to the head, right? But
yeah,
the way Braun Strowman was sitting down, it was just bouncing off the turn, obvious bouncing off the turnbuckle.
yeah.
And let's not talk about the late blood, bro. The late showing of the blood capsule, bro. It was after what, the fifth, sixth mark. He was already laying on the ground, no blood to be seen. Out of nowhere, the camera cuts back to him. Now there's a fucking puddle, freaking puddle. My bad, Rudy. My bad.
You're good. Hey, you're good. I mean, it's up to them. If they have kids listening, they have kids listening. We've got
Alrighty.
survivors, so we try to keep it as
So
clean as possible. You're good.
So yeah, man, it just wasn't believable. Like I said, this would have been a great spot if they didn't just do this shit with Bronson Reed, man. And
Yeah,
like I think even Bronson Reed called it out on X. He's like, "Oh, I feel like I've seen this before." And then he also mentioned, "I feel like I did it better." And I agree, Bronson Reed did it better the first time. Jacob Fatu should have gotten the win over Braun Strowman cleanly. 1, 2, 3, whoop them a little bit, but not go that overboard. Being that that wasn't even his finisher, just a basic buckle, whatever the hell you want to call that. Umaga used to run that with. I feel like his moonsaults looked a lot cleaner than that buckle hit, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Oh
But
yeah, man. The sell on that was crazy. And then I kept thinking, all right, I'm looking at the match, and you hear the announce say, "Well, oh, the blood," and there's blood, and I'm like, where the hell's the blood at? I don't see anything. Like,
it looked
there,
like he was eating spaghetti and catering before the match came
yeah.
out. If we're being
I,
honest.
I'm like, dude, there was bigger mess on my dinner table than there was in that ring. I couldn't believe it, man. So I get what you're saying on that. Damn, Sith, you went all Cody right there. Soft. Man, shout out to that. The blood was fake as hell. No blood on the corner hits. Worst part of the night for me. It
That's
was a
what I'm
pretty
saying. That's what I'm
bad.
saying, Harry. And come on, how much of a hater is Braun Strowman? I thought he was a babyface. You're telling me no one back there is gonna come out here and save his ass? Yeah, good old Jamie Noble playing executive security guard, trying to break them up, and it's just not happening. I
Oh,
refuse to believe all the times Strowman came out to save, like Alpha Academy and all them, that they wouldn't have his back. Come on, man, that wasn't believable. This match fell flat. I didn't like the ending. They took, and let's not forget the whole run around shoulder bumps that Braun Strowman does. He usually goes at him. Oh, he's coming at them full speed. Man,
yeah.
this was the slowest jog I've ever seen him whip out. And the fact that he went for it 3 times, it got slower with each lap. Come on, Rudy, that was ridiculous. We had higher expectations for this. Although we claimed we had no expectations, we at least wanted to see two beefy men beating the hell out of each other, and that just didn't happen.
I'll tell you what, when we have the Sushi Olympics, there's going to be a lot more quicker, beefy guys than
Yeah,
that thing than we saw in this matchup right here. I know
I'm
I can
winning it
run a
all.
lot faster. And I mean, I can run fast for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds, but it's the best 2 or 3 seconds of my life, as kind of what my wife says too. But moving on here, the blood was
Oh,
fake as hell. We'll get into that. Ralph Valdez in here. This ain't the PG STL era. PG STL era. This is the attitude STL era. Let the F words fly. So you know what? STL 316. It's 316 for a reason, man. Yeah, this is the attitude era. We got no, anything bad here. You can say whatever. We kind of keep it as PG-13 as possible, but it is the attitude era for STL. We did have a question, man. I want to get into this in a little bit. They're asking Gio saying, who do you think will be in the Royal Rumble? Before we get into that, not disrespecting the question, not overlooking your question at all. We'll get into it here at the end of the show here. We'll name a couple of names. We'll get Sith to name a couple of names. who haven't been announced just yet. So great question. We'll get in here for just a little bit. I just don't get it. Fatu is already a beast. Nothing was gained. Bam.
Exactly.
Very 100. If I could, if I could give you a million stars for this comment right here, that's exactly my next point. There was no, and that's why I said this was so bad. There was no reason to go overboard on this matchup the way that they did. Fatu, nothing to gain. Everybody knows how dominant he is. Just because he beat up and did this to Braun Strowman didn't mean anything. You may as well just put a pillow out there, have him do it 25 times.
And what
It
did
would have
I
got more effective.
and what did I say? Braun Strowman, for as big as he is, he's on a losing streak. Why whoop his ass
Yes.
this much to try and elevate Fatu? Give us the match we wanted. We saw Fatu and Braun Breaker. I know it wouldn't be possible tonight. Granted, there's a title match. We saw them face off when they cost Jey Uso the title.
Yeah.
There's so much more people you could have put Jacob Fatu up against. I wouldn't even mind seeing, the likes of let's see, who could we throw out there? An Andrade, Carmelo Hayes,
Yeah.
someone that needs to push. Braun Strowman, they just use him for his size. He's nothing special. I hate to say it, but he did absolutely nothing for Fatu. This
Nothing,
whole
bro.
segment was a wash. It was a filler. You could tell after like the third or fourth buckle bomb, it was just all right, do you want me to do the moonsaults now or you want me to take another hit on it? Come on, Hunter, signal something.
Yeah. Hey, you want to drop that blood capsule in there? Just so get ready. I forgot I had that.
Yeah, I
Let me
forgot I
get
had
that. Yeah.
it.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I owe you dinner tonight. That was probably that was a terrible, terrible match. Of course, talking to the doctor, Style Sith, we're recapping Saturday night main event here, STL 316. If you want to be a part of the STL network, all you got to do is go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button. You get the big show. You get the big show, Sweep the League TV. You get STL 316, Great of the Market. Tons of content, tons of podcasts out there that we are providing for you guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Moving on, man. Yeah, he's right. Strowman is the new big show here. We got the last matchup. There we go. And then we'll get into Gio's question from earlier about the Royal Rumble here. But you ended the night off with Gunther, who Leha calls obviously Gender 2.0, against Jey. And we had a feeling that this match was going to deliver. And it's got Jey. Jey's on a hot streak. Jey's going to get the love that he deserves. We clearly knew that they were not going to allow Gunther to lose the title. As close as it came, they were not going to allow him to lose the title on Saturday Night Main Event. It's just not going to happen. But surprisingly, I actually enjoyed this match more than I expected.
I guess what I liked about it is they didn't let Super Cena style Jey Uso showed up. He had
Yeah.
his ass handed to him for the majority of the match. It was the realistic factor behind it. The only time he got the one up on Gunther was when he used his own momentum against him, whether it be the Samoan drop, finally catching him with that super kick. I feel this match really went above my expectations because of the realism factor behind
Yeah.
it. And why did that happen? Because Gunther's an old fashioned wrestler. He slowed it down. The pace was perfect. The hits were aggressive. Even on slow mo, you could tell that they connected. It wasn't none of this, oh, you're going to throw a slap and I'm going to look left right before you connect. They were actually whooping some ass to the point that Jey Uso yelled out, "Come on, bitch," after he smacked them on the face.
Yeah.
So the aggression and all that behind it. But Rudy, what was that ending? You're telling me, you're telling me Jey Uso, two spears, Uso splash.
Yeah.
You almost get that kick. You almost get that 3 count kick out. Then you almost get that pin. Gunther kicks out. Oh, crowd goes wild. Then you get two basic ass power bombs to win the match.
Yeah.
That's even worse than him putting him to sleep with a sleeper hold, man. And I think what made that worse was that he botched that second power bomb. He
Yeah.
didn't. He pulled them maybe nipple high and just drop them from there, bro. Even you ain't doing shit to a carton of eggs from that high. Come on, man. That wasn't real. That was fucking. That's what Leha said. I'll give it to Leha. That was a gender 2.0 type of move.
Yeah.
Whack ass power bomb.
Well, yeah, Gunther did deliver the belly power bomb to Jey Uso at the very end to obviously retain the world heavyweight title. And yeah, I will buy Leia a beer for that. People defending Jinder is wild. He botches chokeholds, botches power bombs. He effing sucks. Mike's goes, what's goes. He is ass as F. And tonight, it did show the botch, but I'm not defending, Gunther at all. I love the command that he's got in the ring. I love the presence he has. You're right. He's an old school wrestler. And it's weird because I think as you try to see guys evolve in wrestling, you see that a lot of them can't do what's expected. And it's like asking, Tim Duncan to go against a couple of the new younger guys right now. It's like, okay, he's kind of got a set style of skills. He's going to dominate with those skills. He's going to look great with those skills. But if we ask him to do something more against a Giannis who has just a tad bit more athleticism, he's probably not going to look very good. He can still win. He can get it done, but it's not going to look good and sexy next to one of these guys. Is that kind of similar with Gunther, that a lot of the hate comes for him?
Yeah, I believe so. And it's not so much that he's a bad wrestler. Like, what happens, what it is when he botches, it's always in the wrong time, you know? It's
Mhm.
always at the peak of the match. Botches happen for your favorite wrestler. I don't care who you are. If you grew up watching Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, up to Mass Kane, Undertaker, botching just happens. It's part of their career. But it's when and how you botch, you know? If you're gonna botch on that superplex that he attempted earlier. Don't box on the match-winning power bomb. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell was that? And is it that maybe Jey Uso put on a bit more pounds than he usually has? Because my boy was out there with a gut, you know. But if Gunther's showcasing that power, that shouldn't be an issue. You hit one power bomb cleanly, follow it up with another. Maybe he got excited, they were short on time. I'm As a wrestling fan, I do tend to clock watch, just from being there in the live shows that you can see the big time clock behind, and it's synced up pretty good to our time out of here. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, they have about 2 minutes left. He needs to get this pin right now, or it's not going to happen, or they're going to be an interference or something. So after that first power bomb, I'm like, shit, they have about 45 seconds left, roughly a minute or so. So I guess it was just rushed to beat the time, but you know, they're professional, Rudy. It still has to be done cleanly. I don't care who you are. If you're going to be the world heavyweight champion, you need to be near perfect in that ring.
Yeah. I won't disagree with that at all. And that is a credit to Leha. If you're gonna be a champion, you've got to be damn near perfect. This isn't anything new though. He's been doing this shit. Y'all gotta stop defending trash man. Y'all sound like Spurs fans. I don't know, man. I don't defend the Spurs at all. So I can't really say that he's taking a shot at me. I don't know if it's at you, but I mean he's
No,
not taking a shot at
Leha
me.
knows. They have this insider nickname, so y'all know me as Sith because of my Twitter handle. Where the boys out there call me the insistigator, like instigator. So he knows that these other Spurs fans, they don't want it with me. I'm gonna hit you with the truth, and that's why me and my boy Matt work out together. I'll get on his little spaces, and I like getting the crowd amped up, and he knows it. He'll text me on the side being like, Sith, bro, you got them mad at you, what are you gonna do? Man, give me the mic and I'll show you how a true fucking heel works, brother.
The Doctor of Style said we are recapping Saturday night main event here on STL 316. Before we go, we had a question that we want to get your answers to, man. We'll end the show with that question. Again, rating and grading for the Saturday night main event in San Antonio. 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 was pretty much the grades that we gave it for this event in San Antonio, Texas. Quick shout out, June 6th. SmackDown's coming to San Antonio, so be sure to get your tickets when they are available. June 6th, SmackDown. It's going to be a great one. Hopefully, a little bit better than what we saw with Saturday Night Main Event. But
You know why it's gonna be great, Rudy?
why is that?
Because that's going to be my last day being 29. I turned 30 the following
Oh,
day, June
fuck.
7th. So y'all know your boy Sith is going to be in the building for SmackDown to celebrate my last hurrah as a 20-year-old. And y'all are more than welcome to join me there. We'll meet up for a burger because I'm a big dude, or a couple of drinks. I don't drink much, but I've never backed off of a Michelada. So, if there's a will, there's a way. Y'all could get the tickets and meet up with your boy at SmackDown.
There you go, man. And you're saying, oh, my last day in my 20s. I'm going to be 30. Bro, the last time I was turning 30 15 years ago. So I mean, yeah, it's I'm way old, man. You're making me like just want to cry even more now. My wife's B-Day 66. Damn. Harry, true fact here. We don't tell tall tales or anything on this show. True fact, my mom's birthday is June 6th. So there you go, man. I might take my mom out there to, hey, let's go enjoy some WWE there on your birthday. See if we can get you a
Let's
quick
go.
shout out there. Getting back to the question. So we're gonna end the show on this right here. Gio was asking, who do you think that will be in the Royal Rumble? So you've got some participants already announced. A lot of people haven't announced yet, but we're gonna get into Royal Rumble talk this week coming up because the Rumble is next weekend. We got to get it in, get our kind of our predictions, maybe some mystery guys coming in that we've talked about in the past. I'm going to give you the floor on this Royal Rumble. Who do you think is going to be in the Rumble? Are there any surprises you might think that may happen? Um, Anything that you might want to talk about, whether it be men or women, it doesn't matter. What do you got?
Let's see. I'd love to see a Brock Lesnar return at the Royal Rumble. There's been talks, oh, he might come back, and they shut them down real quick. No, we're not going to see him. I would love to see him in the Rumble. Let's not have him win it all, though. Matt Cardona from TNA would be a perfect fit.
Yeah.
He would be the first person ever to be in New Japan, TNA, NXT, WWE. No, not WWE. AEW. And if he would make it a WWE under Matt Cardona, he'd be the first wrestler to do that in all promotions. So I'd love to see him go in there. Maybe we get the return of Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, from the TNA roster.
Ooh, that's a good
As
one.
for current roster, maybe we get the return of Ilya Dragunov. He was reported to be out 6 months. He's already back in the Performance Center. Um, See who else. Let's get people like Trick Williams called up from NXT. It's time to bring in some young blood into the core.
Yeah.
Uh, Hulk Hogan better not show up because I'll go in there and throw his ass out. Y'all are gonna see me in the ring standing tall. It's
I
happening in Indianapolis, y'all. So as for celebrities, you're gonna see Pat McAfee in that ring one way or another.
I was gonna ask, do you think McAfee gets in the Rumble?
He's been in the Rumble the last 3 years. 2 years ago, was it last
Yeah.
year that he stood between?
I
Oh,
can't
honestly,
remember.
who was it? It was two big fellas that he. I think it was Braun Strowman
I was
and what's his name? Almost. You know what I'm talking
oh
about? Big
yeah, I know who
old
you're talking
dude.
about. I knew Braun
Yeah.
was one. I
So he
knew
walked in. He kind of looked at both of them, and he threw himself over the top rope. And that'd probably be something I would do if I'm being honest. Oh, Malachi Black, good name.
yeah.
Swiss. So his contract ended with AEW, and just today he put out a screenshot of him watching the 2004, I believe, Royal Rumble.
There you
So that
go.
might be a little hint. We might be getting Alistair Black back in WWE. He's
I
married
love
to
Aleister Black.
that. He
I,
had a great gimmick, perfect spin kick. I just don't
yeah.
like what Vince McMahon did with him, man. He had no choice but to get cut because they weren't playing him directly. Come on, dude, damn near went blind for us, even though it was storytelling. But
Yeah.
he was great, man. He was a great in-ring technician. And I think that's who they were referring to when Dominic Mysterio said, hey, I have the number of someone who could, stop these new luchadores. So I think it's Aleister Black since he's trained in all of that. He's practiced in AEW,
Yeah.
um, AAA Lucha Libre style, Japanese style wrestling. So it looks like we might be getting him back.
100% Pat is in the Rumble, and also Becky Lynch is the question mark. Um, I don't know. Do you think we get Becky Lynch?
I think they throw her in a weird spot. Not so much in the Rumble. Maybe we have someone like I said, Charlotte Flair comes out and wins it, and of course the man Becky Lynch comes out and stands toe to toe with her. Like, yo, I never got my rematch. After Mania last year, I went on a hiatus, so
Yeah.
she's still due for a title match too. Alexa Bliss might be another one. They said that their contract talks have gone stale. She wants to come back with more pay. They kind of wanted to finish off her old contract. It's not really WWE's fault that Bray Wyatt passed on, rest in peace, or that she got pregnant. I think she should go follow through, finish off her current contract before going for a new one, in my opinion. It's been about 2 years since she's wrestled, 2 or 3 years. The new set of divas have passed her by. It's time for her to play catch up and show us that she deserves the money. And that's
There
not
you
me
go.
trying to sound ugly. It's just fair, you know. You have women like B Fab, let's see, B Fab, Tiffany Stratton, Cora Jade, Stephanie Vaquer, all of them would be great in the Rumble, and they deserve to be paid too. But in all
Yeah,
due time, in all due time.
we're definitely going to be seeing, like I said, you're going to be seeing some NXT stars in there. There's no doubt about that. They're going to be calling up some of the people for the Rumble. Before we go here, Harry saying, I would love to see CM Punk's wife, AJ Lee, come back for the Royal Rumble. Anything is possible. I mean,
She's
that's
always
the one
training.
thing. Yeah, and that's the thing about the Rumble. I don't know why, but the Royal Rumble has always been that one pay-per-view outside of WrestleMania per se, because I do like WrestleMania, but the Rumble's always been that one where I definitely have to see, because it's just, you don't know who the hell's coming out. Sometimes you get, idea, oh, they're in, or hey, they caught so and so backstage, and yeah. But they've actually kind of been pretty good about keeping, a lot of these guys quiet for a while there, and sneaking guys in and out and women in and out. It has gotten a lot better. So you are getting some surprises left and right, and that's what I love about the Royal Rumble. So great question out there from Gio asking who's going to be in. We're going to get into more Royal Rumble talk this week, as the Rumble is next week. So you want to be able to go to YouTube, search Super League TV, hit subscribe. So when STL 316 comes back this week and we talk Royal Rumble, you're able to join us that night here. We're going to announce that night of Royal Rumble preview talk later on this week, man. So overall, Sith Saturday night main event, we knew it was an okay card, okay display. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a total failure. We both gave it about a 7.5 out of 10. Any closing remarks for the Doctor of Style Sith?
No, if y'all are interested in more wrestling content or just interacting with me, go ahead and follow me at SithLord_Elias on X. I'll go ahead and shoot me an ad, and I'm always quick to reply. It doesn't even have to be nice. If y'all want to test my wrestling knowledge or just troll me a little bit, it's more than welcome. That's probably the best place for you to be able to keep up with the STL 316 schedule. I tend to announce it a bit earlier than Rudy and I do. I kind of go off the rails. I was like, "Oh, we're making an episode tonight." I'm texting Rudy, "Hey, Rudy, we're able to do an episode tonight, right?" Because I just told the world.
Yeah, you're good, man. Good show again, fellas. Keep doing what you're doing. We cooking always. Hell yeah. So yeah, I mean, every time I get a text, it's like, I'm gonna try to make it happen for you guys out there on STL 316. Once we get stuff rolling, you'll get other guys in here as well. Shout out to Kevin King in New York City. He's gonna be joining us as soon as we can get him kind of scheduled with us here as well. So you got more wrestling guys coming in that are going to be joining Sith here on STL 316 and myself. So for the Doctor of Style Sith, it is the Rated R Sports Star Rudy Campos Jr. Until we preview the Rumble, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.